So on the podcast, we talked about credibility. And I want to tell you, it doesn't matter what type of teacher or what type of schooling your child is doing, whether they are in public school or private school or unschooled or homeschooled or any variation of those, like it or not, you are your child's teacher. And not only that, you are a teacher to everyone you meet. We all have the power to learn from each other. And when you ask our girls, they say, where do you go to school? Everywhere. Who's your teacher? Everyone. And that's true for all of us. And in this season, we're talking about functional education, this concept that it doesn't begin and end in a brick classroom or when you graduate from high school or from college, but that it is a lifelong process that encompasses all aspects of who we are. It's a mind, body, soul approach. It's integrating learning and a growth mindset in every aspect of our lives, no matter if you're 2 or if you're 102. It's really being open to what you can learn. And that's what we talk about and dig into in the podcast this week. We want to empower you as parents, to give you guys some confidence and some affirmation that you don't have to be an expert on everything. I posted a meme recently that said, I was an expert on parenting, ... and then I had kids. And I think that's so true. We don't know, and every child is different. We're figuring out a whole new personality as they're figuring it out and developing it themselves. That's a long process that we cannot just expect to go a certain way. And that's where grace and understanding and flexibility comes in. And it's so needed, especially as we're going through this educational journey. So grow with your kids. The challenge for the podcast this week is to have just an open conversation with your children. Just ask, I said on the podcast, and it's a hoot to do this, ask your 5-year-old, what do you think about this current state of affairs? Just see where it goes from. Ask a question like you are interviewing a very prominent figure who knows a whole lot about a whole lot of things. Ask a question of your children about a topic that is a new topic, and just see what opens up. What path do you go down? What do you explore together? I had the opportunity to do that with Claire the other day, and we ended up going down a whole bunny trail about taxonomy and learning all about it. So just have a conversation. Put aside Google and everything else and just talk first. You can dive in and you can learn and grow together, but just talk first with your children and see where the conversation leads you. So check out the podcast, give me feedback, and ask questions, because as we're going in next week, we're going to dive in a little bit more to the different styles of learning, and I'm going to talk a lot about my lifelong learner snapshot and all the different ways that we can even think and process, which is really cool. I want to know, what are you struggling with? What's going on in your home that is frustrating right now, where you are feeling like maybe you're hitting a roadblock, or where are you second guessing yourself when it comes to education and your children? Or share with me a success story of something, a new tactic, a new way of learning that you have done with your child. Share with me your stories so that I can so that we can potentially even add them to the podcast. Hope you have a wonderful week. Make sure that you have those open conversations in your household this week to really pursue that functional education concept of being a lifelong learner and being the example of having that growth mindset and being open to what you can learn together. Pave the way. Be your child's guide or their expert explorer or their lead explorer, and see where it takes you this week. Remember, the uniqueness in each of us strengthens all of us. Namaste.